And East Point police say they don't suspect foul play in the death of 20-year-old Derek Samuel. The agency made that announcement during a news conference today. Searchers found Samuel's body Sunday afternoon in a wooded area not far from the Camp Creek marketplace where he was last seen.
Derek Samuel walked out of a Target store on April 29, 2026. He was 20 years old. He was with his friends. He was wearing gray and black basketball shorts and a black long-sleeve shirt. He was fine, and then he was just gone. No phone calls, no texts. Like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. And the people who were with him that day, they went home. A month later, a cadaver dog found what was left of him in the woods behind an apartment complex, right near where he was last seen, right where police had already searched. And when they found him, there was a gun next to his body and one shell casing. But here is what no one can agree on. What actually happened to Derek Samuel? If this is your first time here, you're watching Crime Files. This channel exists for people like Derek, people whose stories deserve to be told out loud, in full, without being filtered down to a headline. If that matters to you, like this video, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss when we cover a case. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next in this one. Now, let's talk about who Derek actually was, because he was not just a missing person report. He was a real person with a real life and a family that is still trying to make sense of what happened to him. Derek Samuel grew up in East Point, Georgia, which sits just southwest of Atlanta. He was 20 years old, slim, around 5'7", maybe 127 pounds. By every account from his family, Derek was one of those people who just made a room feel lighter. His mother, Nishi Samuel, described him as goofy, always smiling, always happy. She said she had never really seen her son sad, not genuinely sad, not the kind of sad that makes you worry about him. He had dreams. He wanted to start his own clothing line. He loved gaming. He loved his friends, and he was close to his family in a way that matters, not just in proximity, but emotionally. He showed up. He called, he checked in, and the person he was closest to, the person he talked to every single day without fail, was his twin sister. That detail is going to matter, because the moment Derek stopped reaching out to her, his family knew something was wrong. Not suspected. Knew. In that deep, quiet way families know things before they have any evidence to back it up. So let's go back to April 29th and walk through exactly what we know. Derek was with two friends that day, Cord Manson and a guy known as Des. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. That same day, the group had been evicted, so this wasn't just a casual trip to Target. These young men were already in the middle of a stressful, chaotic day. They ended up at the Camp Creek Marketplace, which is a shopping center in East Point off Marketplace Boulevard. Derek went into the Target with his friends. At some point, the group separated. Cord and Des left to go to a girl's house, leaving Derek behind. According to Cord, they assumed Derek was going to walk to his grandmother's house, which was about 10 minutes away. He said they thought Derek was just waiting for a ride. That was the last time anyone in that group saw Derek Samuel alive. Surveillance footage from the shopping center captured Derek walking out of Target, heading down the sidewalk toward Commerce Drive and Red Wine Road. His mother later watched that footage and described what she saw. She said he walked out of Target, went down the sidewalk, turned toward Commerce Road, and that was it. He just disappeared from frame. No one grabbing him. Nothing dramatic on camera. Just a young man walking, and then not walking anymore. But there is something Cord said in a live video that caught a lot of people's attention. He mentioned that one of the friends said Derek had left his belongings in the car. His PS5, his iPad, all of it, just sitting in the car. And when pressed on whether Derek might have had somewhere else to be, something he hadn't told him about, Cord admitted that was possible. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, Derek may have had something second to do. Someone else pushed back in the video and suggested Derek lied about where he was going. And then someone in the background said, and this is where things get uncomfortable, they said the group had been out trading a gun that day. Cord and his friend immediately denied it, loudly. But that moment lived on the internet, and people did not forget it. Now here is where it gets even stranger. Derek's phone was later tracked to a wooded area near the 3700 block of Red Wine Road. But by the time police zeroed in on that location, the phone had gone silent. Investigators believed that either Derek himself or someone else had deactivated it. That detail sat with a lot of people, because if Derek just wandered off on his own, why would he turn his phone off? And if someone else turned it off, who and when? Police searched the woods behind the reserve at Redwine Apartment Complex on May 16th. They brought dogs. They walked 4 miles of dense, difficult terrain. They found nothing. They also searched the lake. Nothing. They extended their search to the Aqua Waters Quarry area in DeKalb County, conducting both aerial and ground searches. Nothing. Meanwhile, Derek's family was not sitting still. They were out there every single day, before work and after work, passing out flyers, knocking on doors, searching those same woods themselves. His Aunt Carmelita Howard said it had become their everyday life, and they were not going to stop until they found him. His grandmother, Cynthia Hall, said the family was devastated. His Aunt Tamika Ford Baker said Derek was a fighter. She said he would never just run away from life. That was never him. And then the social media piece hit, and it hit hard. Even in the early days of his disappearance, posts started appearing online that said, "Long live Reek," Reek being Derek's nickname. Those kinds of posts, made about someone who was still only missing, sent chills through the family. His cousin Tamika Ford looked at those posts and said out loud that the information was detailed enough that some of it might not be a lie. His aunt questioned how strangers on the internet seemed to know things that the family and police didn't. On top of that, a friend named Desmond posted screenshots showing that Derek's location had suddenly reappeared on his phone weeks after the disappearance, after being completely dark since early May. He asked on video, genuinely confused, why would that happen? And another friend, who goes by Messy Maj online, was doing his own investigation from the outside. He said in one video that he believed Derek was just trying to be sneaky that day, that he was meeting someone he hadn't told anyone about. But Maj also dropped a detail that raised serious questions. He said police were unable to pull any data from Derek's iPad, because by the time investigators got to it, someone else had already logged in and wiped it out. That information was never confirmed or denied by police. The reward started at $5,000. Then Grammy-nominated singer and Fast and Furious actor Tyrese Gibson posted on Instagram that he was contributing $5,000 himself. Actor Gary Dehan also donated. The reward climbed to $15,000. The family went on every local news station they could. The community showed up. Volunteers, search crews, people who had never met Derek Samuel were walking through woods in the Georgia heat trying to find him. Then on May 31st, Georgia Emergency Search and Rescue, a nonprofit with about 150 trained members across the state, was brought in. They reviewed maps of areas that had already been searched. They deployed at 10 in the morning. They prayed with the family before they started. By 2 in the afternoon, Kay Nine Yeager and his handler Jim Lopez made the discovery. The body was in a densely wooded area behind the reserve at Redwine Apartments. The same general area police had already searched weeks earlier. The Georgia Emergency Search and Rescue founder later said the body had been there for a while. The next day, June 1st, investigators went back and recovered more remains. And with those remains, they found Derek's cell phone, a handgun, and a single shell casing. On June 3rd, East Point Police Chief Sean Buchanan held a press conference. He told the public that based on evidence, the gun, the shell casing, the location, the way the body was found, they did not suspect foul play. He stopped short of ruling it a suicide. He said there were facts the department had that the public did not know, facts that were not on social media. He defended his investigators. He said they had not been sitting on their hands. He said the terrain was simply brutal, and the remains were extremely difficult to locate. The family heard all of that and issued a statement immediately. They said they strongly disagreed with the East Point Police Department's view and outcome on this case. They called it insulting. They asked the community to stand with them as they demand justice for Derek. And as of today, the medical examiner has still not formally identified the remains. The cause and manner of death has not been officially ruled. That gun found next to Derek's body has not been publicly traced. No one has explained how it got there or who it belonged to. No one has addressed the iPad that was allegedly wiped before investigators could access it, and the social media rumors that started surfacing within days of Derek's disappearance, the ones that were specific enough to make his own family nervous, have never been explained either. So now let's sit with some questions, because this case does not wrap up cleanly. If Derek walked into those woods on his own, what was he going through that no one around him could see? His mother said she had never seen her son genuinely sad. His family said he was a fighter who would never run away from life. Is it possible that someone could be struggling in ways that even the people closest to them cannot detect? And if so, what does that say about how we check in on the young people in our lives? And if something else happened, if Derek did not go into those woods alone, if he met someone, if that gun belonged to someone else, then who knew what on April 29th? And why hasn't anyone said it directly? There is also the question of the search itself. Police searched that exact area and found nothing. A volunteer rescue team came in and found him in 4 hours. Why the gap? What changed? Was it the dogs, the approach, the weather, or something else entirely? And maybe the heaviest question of all, what does it say about how we treat missing black men in this country when it takes a month, a community fundraising campaign, celebrity donations, and a volunteer nonprofit to find a 20-year-old who disappeared 5 minutes from where his grandmother lived? Derek Samuel deserved answers in week 1. His twin sister deserved to know what happened to her brother. His mother deserved more than press conferences that raised more questions than they answered. This case is not closed in the way that matters. The paperwork may say no foul play, but the family is still standing, still fighting, still calling it what they believe it to be, and they are not done. If this story moved you, do something with that. Like this video so more people find this case. Subscribe to Crime Files so you're here every time we cover a story that the world needs to pay attention to. Click the bell icon because some of these cases move fast, and you don't want to be the last to know. And if you have information about what happened to Derek Samuel, East Point Police can be reached at 404-765-1143. His family is still waiting for the truth.